Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It's Monday, sunshine up and at 'em. So today is the 30th of September, and it's the last day of this month, and we'll be going into October, right? It seems like it's earlier and earlier and earlier. Maybe it's just me. But they put the Halloween crap out last month, and like the candy, they know they got you because you're going to eat it before Halloween, and you're going to have to go buy more. It's all a ploy to get back at you. So what we're going to be talking about today? Today we're going to follow up and just keep going with what you're talking about, Peter and Jason, and that's fishing. And you get that a lot when you're running a repair shop, especially when people don't have as much disposable income. But we'll talk more on that when you get back. All right, so stay tuned. Alrighty, welcome back. My name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekend, Monday through Friday, available on podcast. We do videos over the weekend. It's usually personal development and stuff like that, but they're all available on podcast as well for your listening pleasure. So today we're talking about fishing. And what is fishing? It's been going on for ages, but what I've seen is when people have less disposable income, you get more fishing. But the majority of our fishing comes from other shops. And when I say other shops, not other repair shops that are registered, taxed, you know, able to collect sales tax and do all that. I mean, other guys that are trying to get into the business that, are stumped. See, when you're first starting out and you're a one-man band, it's hard because you don't have the expertise of having a mechanic that has been doing it for a number of years there to help guide you, right? So what's the next best thing? You call a repair shop. Now, it doesn't take long for word to get around if you're a repair shop that you're willing to take time to talk to customers on the phone, explain how it's supposed to be installed, and how to troubleshoot what's going on with them. And when when most of our business was parts, I say 85-90% was selling parts. We also were fielding a lot of calls on how to install them. And I looked at that as part of doing business because we weren't making money on, because these guys were from other states, right? Sometimes other countries would call. But they would ask us, how to install the part that we sold them. And that's one of the things that was rating our listings on the venues and stuff was if you have a problem or you don't understand how to install this part, please call this number between this hours, between the business hours, and I will put somebody on the phone that can walk you through it. And a lot of times it was tractor parts, the bigger stuff. But we got a lot of small engine stuff. And I spent a lot of time on the phone walking people through the process of how to install something. And that's fine. But now, if the majority of the calls that you're getting are from somebody locally, and you are in the repair business, and you are looking for the work, how much information do you give out? Claude put his foot down a number of years ago on this. Is if you don't buy the part from us, no, I'm not gonna. I'll point you in the right direction, but I'm not gonna tell you how to do it. Because if you don't know how to do it, then you should pay us to do it. And he always says, you're too nice here, that you're always trying to help people. Well, what comes around goes around, right? But if you have certain people that are fishing all the time for information and aren't spending any money at your location, you need to stop. You need to stop being helpful. And this is for your own good. Because as Peter found out, it takes time away from his regular customers of work that he needs to get done. It's one thing if the shop is really slow, but if you got stuff to get done, it's hard to be on the phone telling people how to do it. And like Jason, you were saying, get a scans tool and figure it out. See, if you talk to any mechanic, they'll tell you how much money they spent on education, on learning how to do stuff, the trials and tribulations. And it's not easy to become a mechanic. It takes time. It takes, with time you get experience, with experience you get wisdom. And hopefully the longer you're at it, the more wisdom you have, the more experience you have in doing it. And you may have been paired up with somebody that had 20, 30 years already in the business as a mechanic. In that case, you lucked out to me, because you had somebody that could show you. But if you're spending a couple hours a day with these fishermen fishing, that's 2 hours to 3 hours a day you're losing on work that you could be doing for your own customers. You're not even getting the parts and a markup on the parts. They're going online and ordering what you tell them to order. And I've got shops that will actually tell people incorrect information on purpose, and I'm not for that either. It's either withhold it and be pleasant about it, just say sorry, I'm really busy, blah blah blah. If you want us to take a look at it, drop it off. Or maybe Jason's way of go get a scan tool from Harbor Freight, Napa, wherever, and plug it in, and it'll tell you exactly what's going on with it. Other than that, if you want to bring it to us, that's fine, but I don't have time. But to send them with incorrect information on how to do the install isn't correct either. That what comes around goes around, right? But you have to nip in the bud these fishermen early on, because if not, they will continue to call and call and call. I mean, it's one thing, we have a younger gentleman that's a little autistic, he's anger issues, but since he's gotten into trying to be a small engine mechanic, and he works on mostly family stuff, his own family, we wouldn't have got it anyways. But since the kid has gotten into this field, and we do talk to him. I'll even drive up quick because he lives just up the road from us to see what he's talking about. I do help him because I think that he's found his calling of things that he can do, and when he feels good and the outburst, the anger, and all that has subsided, he's doing great with this. He has a lot of questions. He's absorbing. I don't mind that. And I don't even mind the smaller guys that are buying all their parts through us. But if you're doing neither, you have to say no. And I know sometimes it's hard for us to say no, but that's taking on too much work. If your shop is slammed and somebody else wants stuff, if you can get theirs in now this week, you need to learn how to say no. And you need to learn how to first in, first out. I've done a few videos on this of you repair them as they come in and kick them out before anything else comes in. And you may have 3, 4 machines sitting in there waiting for parts. Fine. As long as they're waiting on parts, bring another one in. But if you got a customer that says they need it this week, and you're looking out in your yard and you're saying, it ain't happening unless I make a special case for them. And that's fine, depending on the situation. But I found with those special cases that they come to expect it. And they're still not happy. And you just screw the customer over that would have been had you got theirs in. You see what I'm saying? But the other thing that I look at nowadays too is there isn't too many how-tos, when it comes to how to fix something that somebody hasn't already done on YouTube. There's quite a few people out there. I mean, maybe not the correct way, but somebody's done it, right? But the biggest thing that is my quirk when it comes to these videos is they leave out the hard stuff, or they'll fast forward it through it, or they'll have it where they have to use torches to heat this and that, and they will go back, put everything back in, and then start a video on how easily it comes apart. And it doesn't always easily come apart, does it? But that's still an arsenal in, these guys that are fishing. They can go on YouTube and watch a video on it. But in the end, and when I understand what you're talking about, Peter, and I know Jason does too, is you're in the auto mechanic trade, where most of the stuff my son explains to me of how it's you have to have a computer to plug in and diagnose what's going on with that unit to start giving you directions of where to go and try this, try that, right? I don't like the term parts replacer, but it's gotten to that point with, even though you're a master technician, some days you feel like you're just being a parts replacer. It tells you where to look and replace this fuse or replace this part. But in the end, you have to be skillful, right? It's going to take a while for you to learn how to use the tools that are available. You're going to have to be IT savvy, and that's what scares a lot of your older mechanics that are not willing to or able to comprehend how to use the newer stuff. I mean, you could have all the latest and greatest tools at your disposal, but if you don't know how to use them, what good are they? They're just wasted money, right? So I'm going to start rounding this out. I know it's early, but it's not a big, long topic. It's say no, or just withhold, or say, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now. Be pleasant about it. Don't point them in the wrong direction. Don't tell them to do something that is going to screw themselves. It's just not right. So the other thing is, over the weekend, we gained 80 some more subscribers. I just want to shout out to you guys that are subscribing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Welcome to the crew. If you have any questions, please post them. Comments, please post them. Got a great crew here of guys and gals that are all willing to help each other. And that's what the channel is all about. A lot of times people make the channel about themselves. And I try not to. I try to get a topic and my take on it and stuff like that. But the reason for bringing the channel in was I felt that there was something missing, and that was somebody trying to teach the business side, the personal development side, and getting people involved so that the channel is more about you than it is about me. Because I know if you have a question and you post it, you're going to get a number of people responding. Jason is one of the biggest ones. Travis, Amos, Ed, I could go on, Peter, are people willing to give you their experience. And in many instances, they have more experience than I have. But the channel provides correct information. And one thing I love about this channel is that people are adults. We can agree to disagree and move forward as friends. In the end, we're going to be friends. That's all I want. Am I always going to agree on something the way you're doing it? Girls, no. Are you going to agree all the time on the way I look at things? Absolutely not. I hope not. It could be a boring world, wouldn't it? But we can learn from each other. And when I'm telling you how to do certain things, I'm in the advice age of advice. And that's all I can do with me being in my 60s is give you advice. And what is advice? It's take what you can use, manipulate it however you need to fit your mantra that will help you grow or accomplish what you want to accomplish and move forward, right? Leave the rest. You don't have to do everything the same way I'm telling you to do it, because what works for me does not work for you. I already know that. There are a gazillion people that are motivational speakers on YouTube that you can't replicate what they've done because you don't have the energy. Maybe they're a little underhanded on how they do things, and you're not. Hopefully not. But you need to find your own way. It's kind of like Star Trek, new generations and new planets to discover, and everything is changing as we go. And like with information technology, computers, programs, AI, it's changing rapidly. And you guys that are coming up through the ranks right now, it's going to be easier for you than somebody that's older that, it's like Claude. I finally got him so that, he's on Facebook. Before, all he used his phone for is to call somebody, receive a call, and he checks his email on his computer because he doesn't know how to check it on his phone. But those guys are not, they've done their time in the field. They're semi-retired. They don't want to spend hours trying to learn how to use a new program that's out for auto mechanics, per se. Because right now, in small engine, it's still limited. We have the CDI boxes that are coming in now, and you're going to have to get something to start checking those. Because a lot of times my son says, with like the Ford garage, is a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, when there's an issue, it's an update issue. Or they have to reprogram the computer because it's flawed. It's sending wrong signals where it shouldn't. So sometimes simply rebooting the system is what it takes. Has nothing to do with a failed part. But anyhow, you guys have a great day. And again, thank you so much for the ones that subscribe. Thank you so much for all of you that aren't subscribing, but you're still coming back and watching the videos. It makes it worthwhile for me. And, I've always had that thing. If I can help one person today, I've done my job. So on that note, you guys have a great Monday, and we'll catch you here bright and early tomorrow morning. I know I said at the beginning, this was the weekend. It's the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today's Monday. You guys have a great Monday, and we'll catch you here tomorrow morning. Thanks so much for watching.